Hi, I'm Dave Dobbins, your host, and welcome to Victory Videos. On today's program, we'll be featuring one of the longest-running love relationships in the Christian music field. That's the truly honest and interesting relationship between Glenn and Wendy Kaiser, the husband and wife duo that started Cornerstone Ministries magazine in Chicago. They also started Jesus People USA, a community for the homeless, and we'll learn how God in 1970 gave Glenn Kaiser a vision for what is now known as the Resurrection Band, or RES. On today's Victor Videos, we'll talk with Glenn and Wendy Kaiser and see how they got involved in the ministry. And we'll see videos from Petra, Kim Hill, King's X, Stryper, and the 77s, and a new video from Eddie DeGarmo featuring Russ Taff and former Grand Funk Railroad singer Mark Farner. All of that, plus Music Update with Eve, is coming your way. A great show packed with a musical punch from God's best. Let's get busy with Petra's Seen and Not Heard from their new Beyond Belief video project, followed by Kim Hill's Snake in the Grass. 2 in a row on Victory Videos.
Too many black sheep in the family. We're gonna reap what we've sown, 'cause His light shines on our darkness. But what really troubles me is what the seed may be when it has grown. Cover up your deeds, leave the scene so fast, hide beneath the weeds like a snake in the grass, slither so quietly no one will ever know, but the tracks that you will leave someday will surely show. We're gonna reap what we've sown, 'cause His light shines on our darkness. But what really troubles me is what the seed may be when it has grown. Cover up your seeds, pray the sun and rain will last. Keep cutting back the weeds, watch for snakes in the grass. Cover up your seeds, pray the sun and rain will last. Keep cutting back the weeds, watch for snakes in the grass. So cover up your seeds, pray the sun and rain will last. Keep cutting back the weeds, watch for snakes in the grass. 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 Watch out for those snakes in the grass.
That's Kim Hill and Petra. You know, Kim just returned this winter from her second trip to Sweden with an appearance at Stockholm's Globe Festival. Coming up next, new video from King's X. Here's It's Love on Victory Videos.
So much
street, there is a lot of danger.
Keep in mind, take nothing from a stranger.
Know your address and phone number. These are things you should remember. Then if you get lost and all alone, the man in blue will take you home.
Be smart, street smart, listen, street smart, be smart.
That was King's X. You like that? We're going to have more of them coming up soon. It's time for us to look at our scripture verse for today. And since we're looking at a compassionate ministry like Rez and the Kaisers, our scripture should relate to compassion as well. So we'll take today from Romans 9:15, where God is saying to Moses, I will have mercy on who I will have mercy, and I will have compassion upon who I will have compassion. So then it's not of him that will it, nor of him that runs, but of God that shows mercy. Well, God has shown mercy and compassion upon many who have been touched by the music and ministries of Glenn and Wendy Kaiser. Let's meet them now. Here's Glenn and Wendy Kaiser on Victory Videos. Hi, this is Dave Dobbins, and welcome to this, our special selection, a special time on Victory Videos. And with us today we have Wendy and Glenn Kaiser from Rez Band. Hi, guys.
How you doing?
Howdy.
Thank you.
Thanks for being with us today.
It's our pleasure.
It's nice that I have the one mic. I usually have to share it across the little lapel mics there. That's great. Well, welcome to Cincinnati. We're kind of in the midst of all this Cincinnati Reds and Oakland A's. This is after the fact, so we still don't know if we won yet or not. But it's kind of an exciting time for us, and an exciting time for you guys' ministry too. You have you've been at it for a long time now. What keeps it all going? Jump in anywhere, yeah.
Well, I think the main key to our longevity is the fact that when we first started out, we had a real vision and word from God. It wasn't just a group of kids getting together and think, oh, wow, let's just form this neat Jesus group and go around and singing and see what happens. I remember sitting on a hillside in Stevensville, Michigan, and my husband, we weren't married then, I was engaged to Glenn, and he said, you know, the Lord's really given me this vision. He says, I may be crazy, I don't know what, but I really feel it's from God. This was back in '72. And he said, you know, we as a group are going to play, you know, rock and roll just like the world, but we're going to tell people about Jesus Christ. We're going to go all over the world. We're going to preach the gospel in our music, in our testimony. People are going to say that we're from the devil, and a lot of people are going to think, hey, man, we're really off. But, you know, the Lord said we're going to walk a fine line. As long as we keep our eyes on Him, things will be right. We're going to see hundreds and thousands of young people saved. We're going to do albums, you know, and they're going to go everywhere. And we're going to preach the gospel, you know, to the ends of the world. And, I mean, you're talking, we were 19-year-old kids. Wow. And he said, you know, I may be crazy, but this is what, you know, your life's in for if you marry me. And I was sitting there crocheting, you know, my little granny squares. And I said, sure, honey,
sure,
you know.
Honey. And little did you know.
Yeah.
Wow. And you guys have toured, like, you just got back from Australia again?
Well, yes, we've been down under twice this year, and in Europe. This year. And well, we were in New Zealand twice, and in Australia for several weeks, and then we just got back. We spent the month of August in Europe. Wow. And it's been a real busy year. It's been a good year.
You know what? We talk about the importance of telling that message. What is it that compels you to go out there? I mean, that's a lot of stuff you got upstairs. You know, it's a lot of marshals and a lot of PA and a lot of lights. What is it motivates you to get out there and just take it all over the place?
Well, I'll tell you what I told a guy recently. We do a festival every year called Cornerstone. And
right.
Cornerstone Festival draws around 12,000, 15,000 people every year. And one of the performers, really a good man, he was backstage and we were talking, praying together before the concert, and he said, you know, I really want to share something from my heart with these kids tonight. And a lot of kids out there, and they're real excited about the set and everything. He said, but I just don't know what to say. You know, I just don't quite have a word from the Lord for this evening. And and it just hit me, and we've been friends for years. I'm not going to mention his name on purpose. Really good brother. I just said, look, never forget what it was like before you were a Christian. Never forget what it was like to be lonely, to be lost, to feel like there's no purpose or point in life. You know, so many of those kids out there and even many who are church kids, don't know Jesus or don't have a relationship with God. They know about Him. Maybe their parents are Christians, or maybe they're just, as Christians, struggling. And then, again, many of these kids aren't even Christians, not even churchgoers that show up at the festival every year. And I said, when you go out there tonight, just remember what it was like for you. And that should really provide a source of understanding and inspiration and empathy. And then just speak from your heart. And you know God's going to fill in the blanks. And he did, and it was a great night, and a lot of people prayed with Him for salvation. But that's really the motivating factor. I mean, it's ultimately our own relationship with Jesus. But there's a reminder over and over again of what it was like. There are little Glens and Wendy's running around out there just as lost as can be. And it's for that reason.
So that is what we're going to talk a little bit about today, the motivation behind your ministry of Res Band. We'll be back with more on Victory Videos right after this.
You had your number, you cut the telephone line. You said you needed a reason. He said there ain't much time. You kept trying to avoid it. He kept knocking on the door. In a flash, it was over. You were a prisoner of war. But when you lose, you win. That's the way it is. That's when the love comes down. That's when the love comes down. She was playing the traffic, and you were scoping her out. She was so much elastic, someone strung her out until the fire had reached her. That's when the lights came on. That's when she got off her habit. That's when you took her on home. Oh, 'cause when you lose, you win. That's the way it is. That's when the love comes down. That's when the love comes down. 'Cause when you lose, you win. That's the way it is. That's when the love comes down. That's when the love comes down. That's when the love comes down. That's when the love comes. You can't beat the heat. He's red hot on the trail. He's a love enforcer, and he has paid your bill. It's much more than emotion. It's not just in your head. You gotta get light, and you'll be better off dead. How? 'Cause when you lose, you win. That's the way it is. That's when the love comes down. That's when the love comes down. 'Cause when you lose, you win. That's the way it is. That's when the love comes down. That's when the love comes down. 'Cause when you lose, you win. That's the way it is with him. That's when the love comes down. 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 Oh, that's when the love comes down. 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 And he
Coming up
has
next,
paid your
music
bill.
update and videos from the 77s. Striper, Rez, and Eddie DeGarmo on VTV, so keep it right here.
Gotta get light, and you'll be better off dead.
When she was 6, her dad taught her how to ride a two-wheeler. When she was 9, he helped her explore the universe. But for all their love and attention, there was one lesson left untaught. Susie's parents never taught her about drugs, that drugs kill. When you don't say no to your kids about drugs, it's like saying yes. For a free parent's guide to drug prevention, call 1-800-624-0100.
Well, all my friends drink. I mean, it's not like we get drunk or anything.
I don't have the problem. You have the problem.
No more drinking.
Stop crying!
I promise it's the last time.
Get off my back!
You've tried everything. Nothing's worked, but there is hope. Get through to us at the National Council on Alcoholism and Drug Dependence, and we'll help you get through to them. Just as we've helped thousands of others. Just don't give up.
What's the matter? Don't you trust me?
Hi, I'm Dave Dobbins.
And I'm Eve McHugh.
And welcome to Victory Video's Music Update. News from the choir. On the edge of their Myrrh Records' latest release, Circle Slide, Robin Spurge, female bassist and recognizable by her infamous hat, will not be touring with the band. We will probably see original youth choir bassist Mike Saverbray to join the other members for an early 1991 tour.
The choir is due to be touring with Rick Elias and the Confessions and Jacob Trouble. Rick Elias just finished the tour through the Midwest, which included stops in St. Louis and college dates, including the opening for the Altar Boys in Chicago's Trinity College and Concordia College in St. Paul, Minnesota. I look for more from these boys.
Those guys are really doing
nice.
some things.
Yeah.
Coming up next in metal news, King X video, which we just played for you, It's Love, has jumped to medium rotation on MTV. Not bad for a trio of players that most Christian labels turned down for a recording contract 5 years before their debut, which was called Out of the Silver Planet.
Old-time session and album readers may recognize King X's drummer Jerry Gaskill and Doug Pinnick, bassist and lead vocalist from tours supporting Phil Keaggy and Morgan Cryer.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Interesting.
King X also played at CMJ Convention in New York City recently, so look for King X to be on tour soon with the Galactic Cowboys and rock clubs later on the year.
Finally, new releases due soon. The Archers, Arsenal, Philip Bailey, Stephen Curtis Chapman, Billy Crockett, Mark Farner, Al Green, Steve Green, Guardian, Phil Keaggy, Liaison, Magdallion, PID, and Whiteheart.
That's a lot of new releases.
Yes.
So we will try to bring you, anytime we get some new songs from these guys, we'll get them to you as quickly as we can on Victory Videos. Thanks for joining us. I'm Dave Dobbins.
And I'm Eve McHugh.
Stay tuned for more Victory Videos right after this.
Hi, I'm Keith.
And I'm Jamie
from Bashing the Code. And you're watching the very best in contemporary Christian videos.
On Victory Videos. Keep watching.
Dog, yeah.
Welcome back. Coming up next, a familiar face for metal enthusiasts. Here's Striper and Shining Star, followed by a new video by the 77s called Ba Ba Ba. 2 in a row on Victory Videos.
Shining star for you to see what your life can truly be. Watchful light on you. truly be.
no one has the right to use force to control another person's behavior. That's why Ohio is taking a tougher stand against domestic violence. If you know a woman who's experiencing private violence, take her fears seriously, because the real tragedy about this problem is to overlook it. Breaking the silence can break the cycle. Domestic violence hurts everyone. Quit before you hit.
That was the 77s. Before that, Striper. Well, here's Glenn and Wendy Kaiser, again of Res, as we find out more about their walk with Jesus Christ and how they're reaching out to others. And Dave Dobbins with you on Victory Videos, but you already know that because you've been watching, so appreciate you. We're here with Wendy and Glenn from Res today. I really like what you were talking about, the reason why you go out. So when you go out, you're just kind of speaking from the heart and telling people what God has really done in your life. I know that sounds so elementary, but people think that it's this great, in order to be an evangelist or be someone called of God, you have to be, sealed and all this kind of stuff, and you have to be educated and you have to dress a certain way, but you just go out with that love. It comes right out from your heart and just tell it like it is.
Well, that's our hope. That's what we're trying to do, and it's been nearly 20 years. We've seen an awful lot. We were talking a moment ago off screen about the community that we're part of, and part of why the band has had that longevity, and I think part of our effectiveness is certainly because we have a commitment and a relationship from the local church, which is called Jesus People USA. It's an evangelical covenant church, and we live in Chicago in the inner city. And because of the commitment and the relationship that we have between the band and the rest of the church, the rest of the fellowship, we're able to do what we do. And I don't know, maybe Wendy can chat a little bit about some of the things that are going on at home in Chicago.
Well, my household my household isn't the typical American household. I share my home with 500 folks.
Oh, my word.
Boy, when we cook dinner, it's really something.
You can have a lot of seconds and thirds.
It's a busy place. Our main focus is urban mission work. And in all of its facets. Right now we've been involved in shelter work and transitional living for homeless women and children. And so as a shelter, it's more than just a place to live. It's a place to reestablish your life. As a community, we are in the midst of rehabbing and renovating a large apartment complex with government funding for subsidized housing for low-income families, so these families can have a place to go and to live. Then there's the Cornerstone Magazine. There's Go Records, which under that is Res, Cause and Effect,
That's a rap group.
Crash Dogs, which is kind of a, what would you call a thrash?
Crash Dog is,
thrash metal. There's Grace and Glory, which is a fabulous gospel choir.
Oh, wow.
There's an Irish folk group,
The Crossing,
which are just fabulous musicians.
bagpipes,
the
and the whole bit. They're really a trip.
They're really great.
Dulcimers and
violin, cello,
Bodhran.
flute.
Wow, a little different from Res.
Very different, but all with that same vision, to reach out. And then there's a Cornerstone Festival, which is my husband briefly talked about every year, there's the Cornerstone Magazine, which I feel is one of the finest Christian publications.
Where we live, it's called Uptown, and it's a north side kind of a very poor, rundown area, and there's a real mixture of people. There's American Indian people, poor white, poor black, Spanish-speaking people, and Vietnamese, Thai, Cambodian refugees, different immigrants there. So it's a real melting pot of cultures. And we have a church service, of course, on Sunday, and Bible studies throughout the week, and we do a lot of counseling and other things. But in the process of doing these things, a lot of relationships have been built over the years. And, again, the concept of all of this is really it's Acts 2 and Acts chapter 4 in the Bible. They pooled all their money, all their assets, what they had. And it says in the scriptures that they didn't count anything they had as their own, but they shared. And I think, again, that gives the power to the gospel, is that we try very hard to live out what the Scriptures teach. None of us makes a salary. Any money that's made within the community goes into common bank account. Nobody lives off in the suburbs in a nice house. We've all chosen, and we all believe that God has called us, maybe not all Christians, but certainly us, to live in the inner city in this particular place. And Wendy and I basically live a very simple lifestyle. Any money that is made, if any is made, from a concert or even a tour, really, goes back into the community. So there's no hidden, somebody stashing money away in Switzerland or, drives a nice car and lives in a nice house. I mean, Jesus said we should store up our treasures in heaven. And obviously, Jesus thought God the Father and people were more important than material things. And so for us, it's a real practical way to meet the needs in the ghetto and the inner city situation. And then in the process of sharing the good news about what Jesus went through for people, there's fire under those words. Because they know that we're trying to impart our lives. And we're in the same economic and political situation as the poor in the area that we live with. I mean, the church is off here somewhere living high, and the people that are in the inner city that are suffering and struggling, there's like this great gulf fixed between us. No, there really isn't in our situation. And so, it's just been a lot of grace over these years.
I hope you've enjoyed our time with Glenn and Wendy Kaiser from Res Band. For more information on Jesus People USA, Res, Cornerstone Magazine, or information about Cornerstone Festival, which is to be held this year in the Chicago area, June 27th through the 30th, 1991, call at area code 312-989-6330. That's 312-989-6330 for more information on this ministry.
I thought the homeless were winos, junkies. I didn't think it happened to people like me. Anybody can be homeless.
I'm a single parent with 5 children.
I consider us middle-class people. Up until September, he had a good paying job. He was making $15 an hour.
When I lost my job, I felt like the whole world's gone.
I don't know what I'm going to do with my 3 children and I. We need a little help.
Oh, Cincinnati, 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 don't you see? There are people crying out around us in this land of opportunity. Oh, Cincinnati, Cincinnati, we can't turn the other way, 'cause the tears that they are crying are not far away.
The free store is like a light at the end of the tunnel.
I hope they help me. I don't know what's going to happen to us.
In the glare of a streetlight.
you. You can get bailed out. Got to change your criminal heart. That's what love's about. It was crime. Just a lot of crime. Just crime. In my heart, in my mind. No, 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 no more crime. In my heart, in my mind. No more crime. In our hearts and our minds. No more crime. No more crime. No, no, no more crime.
And that was Rez on Victory Videos. Very well sung, guys. Glenn Kaiser once stated in CCM magazine, there's got to be an edge. There's got to be a little bit of danger in our music. Glenn also quoted Paul the Apostle by saying, I become all things to all people that I might win some. Well, this ministry that we've been following today really shows a total sellout to Jesus Christ. I really like these guys, don't you? And for Rez, it has meant living a little dangerous, with a little dangerous edge. But isn't our world today a lot like that? You know, you can find comfort and peace in a world of confusion. The Bible says in the last days there would be wars and rumors of wars, earthquakes, pestilence, famine, floods, and basically all kinds of yucky stuff. But I'm not trying to scare you, but during the last days, it will be so rough without Jesus Christ in your heart that it'll be tough not to make it. God has worked with compassion in Wendy and Glenn Kaiser's life. He can work in your life too. Give Him a chance to work in your life today. Let His Son, let God's Son, Jesus Christ, cleanse your life and fill you up with a newness and a freshness that can sustain you no matter what kind of situation you're going through. Just say, Jesus, come into my heart. I need you today. Amen. Simple as that. Just a little prayer. As we close out today, a reminder to you is we would like to hear from you. We'd like for you to write to us so that we can know that we're getting across, that we know that there's been a change in your heart today. Or if you have a special favorite video that you like, write to Victory Videos, 6800 Hazel Court, Florence, Kentucky, 41042. Or if you'd like to talk to us on the telephone, you can call us during regular business hours, 9 to 5, area code 606-371-9988. There it is right there on your screen, 606-371-9988. And let me know about your decision for Jesus Christ today. Well, as we go out, Dave Dobbins saying, remember to love somebody today with the love of Jesus. Here's Eddie DeGarmo's new video, and this is called There's Something About That Name. You have a good one. Until next time, bye-bye.
Jesus, Jesus, oh Jesus, there's just something about that name. Master, Savior, oh Jesus, like the fragrance after the rain. Jesus, 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 let all heaven and earth something about that name. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. There's something about that name. Oh, Master, Savior, Jesus, like the fragrance after the rain. Oh, Jesus, 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 let all heaven and earth proclaim. Kings and kingdoms will all pass away, but there's something about your name. Oh, kings and kingdoms will all pass away,